Hmm. Very interesting. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. This is No Solution. I'm Scott. It's been a little while. When I started making videos, some things really kind of pissed me off right away, and I had made a video that went over these kinds of things, like kind of my pet peeves of what I'd seen on YouTube. And luckily, I never posted it because it was kind of overly negative and reactionary. But one of the things that I talked about was people coming back after being away for a little while and saying, "Oh, guys, I'm sorry I haven't made a video," and then making excuses. And my response to that was, "Fucking nobody cares. Nobody's waiting for your video. Just go ahead and make your video." But I didn't really understand that. Once you start talking to people and you kind of make friends in the kind of VC or YouTube community, um, yeah, I know you feel like people might want to know. So, yeah, that was one of the things that I didn't understand, and now I do, I guess. So maybe you guys don't care, and if not, that's fine. I mean, there's no reason you should. I was on vacation with my family for the last week, and we went out to Gettysburg and did a bunch of stuff in Pennsylvania. And last year, when we went on vacation, I was very determined to keep up my pace of, 2 videos a week and watching other videos and commenting. And I did that. And I really feel like I took away from the vacation and like spending time with my family because I was so focused on doing YouTube stuff. And I just not in that place anymore. Didn't really want to do that this year. So I just figured it's fine. I'll be back when I'm back. So I'm back now. I barely watched any videos, so sorry for that. But you just can't keep up sometimes. Sometimes you have to live your life. So I did see a bunch of videos for the Boston meetup for at MGK Boston's house, and looked really fun, and looked like everybody had a great time. So that was cool to see. Let's see. So this is kind of gonna be a free flowing thing, I guess. I just have a couple of topics, a couple of things to show. So just right off the bat, I did get this in the book edition reissue of Agaloc's The Mantle. You can see the embossed, foil embossed printing on there. So this is their second album. Very influential, I think, even more than their first album, and kind of establishing the Cascadian black metal sound. Still a classic in my mind, and I think maybe a favorite of a lot of people. This album. Some of the things I think have not aged quite well. The last song, the Desolation song, is very mid-20s, woe is me, sad boy, emo. And while I really had kind of identified with it at the time, now it's a little cringy. But that's the age they were too, and that's what they were into, and I identified with it then. So it's just kind of part of it. Really cool book presentation, the lyrics, lots of liner notes, interviews with the band about the recording of the album and stuff like that, and some guest other musicians giving their thoughts on it. If you are a fan of Agalock, I would definitely recommend getting these. This is the second one they put out. They're about, I think, $40-ish, and it comes with the original album, and then a entire second disc of, let's see, what do they call it in here? Oddities and Rarities 2001 to 2004. So various 7 inches, splits and whatnot that they did. Also some unreleased stuff, some unreleased live recordings. Yeah, I think it's really worth it. So check out Agalock if you hadn't. Definitely highly recommended. So we'll talk about my trip a little bit. I'm not going to go into much detail, but on the way out there to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, we were going through the Pittsburgh area. And if you are a fan of zombie films or George Romero films or horror films in general, you know Night of the Living Dead and the whole opening that takes place in the cemetery where the brother and sister go there and they encounter a zombie for the first time. Well, that cemetery is right on the way, basically. It was like a 20-minute detour to get there. And one benefit of that is it looks, I mean, what are you going to change about a cemetery? It looks exactly the same. So got to drive in on that if you know the movie, the driving up the hill to get to it, and then there's the little chapel there, and the gravestones that are very recognizable from the film are like right as you drive in. So on my community, I made a community post putting a couple of pictures up of me laying by one of the graves and standing by another one. So that was fun to do. And then just down the road was the Monroeville Mall, where they filmed Dawn of the Dead. And what was that, 78? So the mall is not recognizable really at all from what it looked like in the film. But in the mall, they have a thing called the Living Dead Museum. And in there's a gift shop, of course. And then you can pay $8, and in the back there's a museum. It's pretty small, but there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. For example, original light fixtures from the mall that you would see in the movie, part of the original escalator. They have the original elevator that was a big plot point in the movie, that when they took it out, they saved all the parts and they reconstructed it back there and put like a zombie statue in there, so you can kind of visualize what it looked like in the movie. And then they have other things too. They have like some creep show props, a lot of George Romero props, and then other stuff too, like a lot of the cabin and outbuildings from Evil Dead 2. They have the original stuff in there displayed and kind of set up, so you can kind of see what it would look like if it was all put together. Yeah, overall, just a really fun museum to take in for a horror nerd. So we did that. I did get a t-shirt there, and I like t-shirts that are kind of like, if you know, you know, and not just something that says I Heart Zombies on it. So this is the t-shirt I chose. Let's see if we can get it on there. The Monroeville Mall Directory. So we've got the kind of blueprint of the mall. I don't know if you can see there, but all the dots, the key down there, the blue dots are zombies, the red dots are bikers, and then if you see in the middle, the "you are here" says "you are screwed." So from, the kind of the climax of Dawn of the Dead, and then the Monroeville Mall old 70s logo down there. I thought that was a cool shirt, so got that. And then moving on, we went to Gettysburg, did, the battlefield tours and looked at a bunch of monuments and stuff, which is fun, but honestly, by like a day and a half of it, I'm like, okay, I don't need to see any more statues. I mean, I don't know if that's crass to say, but I was kind of over it. Yeah, and in Gettysburg, had to see if there was a record store, and there was. It is very small. It is one of a bunch of businesses this whoever owns this has. They have a cigar shop and something else, and also do ghost tours or paranormal investigator tours. And there was a flyer on the counter when I was checking out, and I looked at the flyer and then looked up at the guy checking me out, and he was one of the guys. I didn't talk to him about it because, I don't know, I didn't really know what to say. I think that's kind of all bullshit, and I didn't want to insult him. But so I go in there. The records are not in the greatest shape. It's a very small store. They weren't priced outrageously, I guess, for the condition they were in. But then the new records were crazy expensive. It was kind of like a tourist store. They're hoping just somebody will come in and buy something, I guess. They did have some CDs. So I'm looking. They're arranged really shitty where you can't really see them very well. And Goodwill's Greatest Hits is how I would describe it. A lot of them actually still had Goodwill stickers on them, so I guess they would just go raid the Goodwill and buy dollar CDs and bring them there and mark them up. So I was just half-heartedly looking, about to walk out, and then right in front, I see this, Marty Friedman, Inferno. I have not kept up at all with Marty Friedman's solo work, but his first few albums I do have and really enjoy. And it was marked for $3. This came out in 2014 on Prosthetic. So I was like, all right, I want to get that. And now the dam's broken. Like, I found something that is slightly of interest, so now I got to keep looking. So I started pawing through everything. I did pick up a few things. Everything was pretty cheap, like $2 to $4 mostly. I got not metal at all, but Jackson Browne, Running on Empty. I really, really like a lot of Jackson Browne music, but I only have a greatest hits. I don't have any actual albums, and I don't really see them around that much. Probably because usually I'm not looking in like the general pop section. But $2, I figured, sure, I'll grab that. This is the Waterboys, a big favorite of Steve at All the World's a Stage, and they had 2 of their albums, so I picked those up. I don't really know anything about them other than, the couple of things I've heard online. I don't know if they're on here, but I figured for a couple bucks I'd give them a whirl. And then this David Gilmore solo album from 2015. Again, it's called Rattle That Lock. I don't know anything about it other than it's David Gilmore, and he's a fantastic guitarist, so what the heck? We'll see how it is. Okay, what else? Probably this will not be of interest to most people, but this book, Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace, is probably my favorite book. And I've talked Garage Geek into reading it, and we're planning to do a series of videos talking about it. I'm not sure who would be interested in watching that, but it'll be fun just to talk about it, because this is one of those books. As you can see, it's very big, intimidating, and not easy to read. There's a lot of jumping around in time and characters, and you kind of have to put pieces together yourself. But I think it's really worth it if you put the time in. And David, Garage Geek, is the only one I've really been able to talk into reading this, so it'll be fun to talk about it with him, even if nobody watches. So there's that. Anything else? Oh, yes. So there is a channel called All Sorts of Words. Ricky is the guy who runs that channel, and it's focused on comic books. He collects other things. He's also a writer, but he makes awesome videos, and most of them are comic centric. But he made a video, I think it was before I left, a few weeks ago, about shopping addiction. And he was bringing up, he's into buying key comic books, which are expensive. And he was talking about, he found one that he really, really wanted. It was like on the top of his list, and it was hundreds of dollars, but he got it kind of for a deal based on what it's valued at. And he was so happy, and he got it. And then the next day he's back on eBay and back on whatnot and looking for other stuff. And he's like, why can't I just be happy with what I just bought that I wanted for so long? But as soon as you get it, you're looking for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And he was kind of wondering, am I a collector or do I have a shopping addiction? And that kind of struck home with me because of my recent experience. As I cheekily put in the beginning, reading that Playboy, I somehow fell into collecting Playboys, and that's really what I've been buying. And the strange thing is, I haven't really had the urge to buy music. And I'm still listening to music. I'm still listening to tons of music. I have hundreds of stuff, hundreds of albums that I haven't listened to yet. So it's not like I am in need of anything new or things I haven't heard. But I just don't have that urge to go, scouring around and go on Discogs. And I don't know, this buying these old nudie magazines, I guess, is filling that hole inside me for right now. So it really did make me wonder, what's the difference between a collector and someone who just likes to buy shit? I don't know, something to think about. I'd be interested in people's thoughts on that too. I know some people are very good at curating their collection and only getting stuff that they really, really want and know that they're going to enjoy. And there's other people like me that see, I can get this grab bag of 20 CDs for $30. I'm definitely doing it just to acquire and feel like I got a deal. So yeah, I guess that was my rambling way of wondering what this collecting thing really is. Is it just that I like to spend money? I like that rush of acquiring something, and then once I have it, the rush is gone and I need it again. You know what I mean? Something to think about. So, talked about the book, talked about what I picked up. I guess that's it, you guys. I'm sure I'll forget, or I'm sure there's something I forgot that I'll get into. A lot of contests going on right now. James at Stormland79 has a contest for his 500th subscriber. So congratulations, James. I will definitely be doing that one. My frenemy, Simon Pieface, has a contest going on as well. And I'll be entering that. And that's it for now, you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, CM Punk is a piss baby. Later.